We're on. All right. Hi. Welcome to Facebook Live and Instagram Live. The sisters are in. We're back. I was checking to see how long it's been.
It feels like a while. I am very
has.
happy to be back to school.
It is true. It does. I'm Marnie Nir, expert coach at Handel Group. This is my sister Lauren Zander, co-founder and chairwoman of Handel Group. And I remembered her title. All right. Ready, Lauren?
I am.
Topic of today. Funny you should mention back to school. It's back to school. It's parenting.
Ooh.
Okay, and remember, if I ask one of your questions, you're going to get $50 off of a private coaching session, so just be on the lookout for an email from us, okay? And feel free to send in live questions. We like those are fun, and Amy will ask them, so type away, okay? Parenting, back to school, and anything to do with that.
Yep.
All right, question number 1. My daughter is having a really hard time her first week of middle school, and is constantly texting me how sad she is, how mean people are, and that she's crying in the bathroom during lunch. How do I manage her pain and not take it on as my own?
Wow.
Middle school.
Bribery's good.
She means it.
Like, hey baby, how about you introduce yourself to one person today that actually doesn't look like she's a mean girl,
Bite.
and sit next to someone and just start a conversation, and I will buy you anything you want at H&M, right? Like, or wherever your cool place is. So I would bribe and make a game of finding friends, and that it's hard for everyone. And then the other thing I tell everyone is, Marnie, let's discuss how many friends we still have from middle school.
Never middle school.
Remind your daughter she will never remember middle school. I don't. Like, it sucks and it's going to suck. Go to class, do your school, find one good friend, help her find one good friend, and bribe her too. And then make her giggle. And go find someone to sit next to, okay? So go make it in the geeks then. Really, she has to just pick some friends and hide from the mean people. And that's it. And it's gonna suck until she has about 1 or 2 friends, okay? And everyone ends up finding 1 or 2 friends. And then you can have 3 and 4. But just keep on giving her pep talks. And if you're getting sucked in, which you are, then you don't remember how bad middle school was for everybody too. And it's almost like a rite of passage. Like, Marnie, do you remember liking puberty?
No.
No. Do you remember really enjoying your first kiss?
You could keep going with me.
Did you like
Did you like everything? Did you like anything?
Can anyone discuss what they liked? Like, first kiss?
High school.
No. First feeling up? No. First touch of a penis? No. Like, it was all the creepiest, most awkward experience of life itself. Really, I would start to warn her that this is like, let's write a funny journal, let's bribe you to make it through, and let's keep you happy while change is inevitable and sucks. Okay, so that should get her to get it more and get you to be in the right position about what to expect when expecting.
That's good. Yeah, and I think it's key what Laura said about like not getting sucked in too much into it and making it your pain. I could do that so easily, and if I try to fix or convince any of my kids otherwise, well, one of them in particular, fix her and have her stop experiencing what she's experiencing, it always lands back at me. So I think he is really just getting their pain and relating to it and seeing if you could find some humor in it. Middle school is not that funny when you're in it, so maybe there's some humor in that one too. So I think don't get sucked in. And my kids tend to get more dramatic around me for me. So you have to watch that too, whether those calls and your love and attention to it is getting her off a little too, and so you have to step back and just get her world and get it. And I like the bribery thing. It just,
I think I tried to bribe my son yesterday. He was going on the bus, and because they merged wherever, there was like less seats on the bus where he could sit alone. And so he's like, Mom, there's no seats on the bus. And David was like, you're standing? And I'm like, no, honey, he'd have to sit with someone. And he's like, is that what you just said? And Parker was like, yeah. And I was like, $20 if you sit with someone and say hello. And he was like, right? Like, right? And that was it. Right? So I go for a bribe every time.
That's really good. I should try that. So I should do a little more.
Bribing. I love
bribing is good, and they take it. They really do.
And then it's always a deal, and they always have a choice. That's why I like a bribe, right? Like they're not stuck. It doesn't suck. It's funny, and you can change your perspective by changing your action.
Yeah, and then Parker will not only get $20, he'll be proud of himself, and he didn't even know that was part of the gift. It's a surprise.
Okay.
That's extra gift.
What else we got?
All right. How do I get focused again after the summer?
Write a dream. Make new promises and have an accountability buddy. Like in Inner You, we have our accountability buddy and tracker of promises. The minute you come off of summer, what you're really saying is you're not on certain promises. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And so back to school is really back to promises. What promises you tell me? They're usually diet, their effort for work and finishing the year out powerfully. Like what goals do you want to achieve before 2020, right? So I would be focusing on that, and I wouldn't do it alone. I'd get a buddy or a best friend or get on Inner You and get an accountability buddy and really create a powerful end of year.
Yeah. And I think that goes for any vacation, re-entry from Burning Man. Like there's a need to have a plan. Otherwise, you're just kind of sad, right? And it's just back to work and all that kind of stuff, or back to school. So everyone needs a plan.
Yeah.
Okay. And back to promises.
Promises.
All right. As a working mom, I can't always return the favor in these mommy organized carpools taking my son to his activities. How do I best navigate without being looked at as a leech? I want to help, but I work full time and I'm a single mom.
You have a real conversation with the other mother or father about your situation. And you go, listen, I'm in this situation. I feel terribly unfair about this, but I just want you to know I'm not going to be able to do this or this or that. What I can do for you is then you make a barter exchange. Like if you ever need on a weekend your kid to have a place to stay on Saturday night, I would love to exchange, any Saturday night. And it give what you can give that doesn't seem like a direct exchange. But he could come over here after school. You could do this after Tuesdays. I could make sure they get their homework done. I could bake the goods and do all the PTA shit. I could do something in exchange. But what will likely happen is if the other family really doesn't have your constraint, they will appreciate, it's no big deal. We're going. You're 3 houses down. It's good for the kids to be in the car. It's nothing. Right? I'm not driving 10 minutes out of my way. And now you owe me an extra 10-minute drive, right? And if it is that, then figure out something you can give for what you're getting. So make a better exchange with them, just not verbatim. It's literally this for that. You're not getting one of those, you're a working mommy. And really people understand that and want to be great.
Yeah, completely. I used to trade because I used to just be, smarter about what I wanted to do and willing to do. So I would do weekends, and I do that early pickup because I'm a morning person. I like those. I hated ends of party pickup, so I would always be the quick early 6 a.m. whatever they had. I'd be that one. So that they wouldn't hate me. So I definitely, and I was the one that, yes, 6 girls could sleep over my house. I would try to earn favors, so I didn't have to do the shit I didn't want to do. But what's awesome is, and most people really do know the answer to their own question in their question, right? So how to have a hard conversation is really just say everything. Is how do I not be a leech? I don't want to be. I'm a working mom and I want to help. What do you need? And people completely could get it. You could even add the leech part. They love it. Okay?
It's adorable.
They love it. So everyone really knows how to have the conversation, but they're just not having it.
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't mine, Lauren. How How often should I call my son at college? Don't want to be overbearing, but still want to connect.
Ask him. Negotiate with him. Tell the truth. Like, I'd like to talk to you every day. Like, my truth is I'd like to, and then fill in your truth. Right? And then, is that annoying? What do you think? Can we wean me off of you? What, like, so you're going to negotiate a grown-up relationship with your kid, and you're going to be clear about your needs. Like, right? Like, tell the truth, and then let him wean you and turn it into, the right answer is at the most it would be, sorry, breathe, twice a week. Like on Sunday evening, right? Before he gets ready to do his schoolwork, like he's going to be pretty sober on a Sunday, right? And then probably somewhere on a Tuesday, Wednesday in the middle of the week, right? So for sure your kid's going to think that's a good idea. If you're like, I want more, then negotiate beyond that. But I would pretty much accept twice a week. What did you do with poor Harris?
I don't think Harrison and I actually really talked a lot. He's a lot like me.
You text her?
It's like Sophie and I are just text her, how you doing, good night, love ya, that. And if she needs me, she knows to find me and call me. Harrison was the same thing. Most of the time I got the calls when there was a problem, right? So then you're like happy you don't hear anything because no news in our family is really good news.
It really is.
It really is. Harrison, I think by the end, when things were a little tougher for him, we'd speak weekly. But before that, it'd be once in a while. And Sophie and I are texting once in a while because she likes that company. But she'll really call me if she actually wanted to speak to me.
And you might want to figure out it's time to get a new life.
Yeah. I'd rather not be needed.
Right. It's a good sign. We're not having a conversation whether your kid loves you or you love your kid or you have a great relationship with your kid. It is not, if my kid loves me, he calls me and needs to speak to me every day. Or if I love my kid, I have to speak to them every day. Like that's one equation you can create to be true, but is quite burdening, and you might want to look at that you now have space and time, and you rock, mama. You got your kid to college. You did the big deed of getting your kid out of the house and growing up and letting them be a grown-up now. And you need to become a powerful empty nester, right? Even if it's only half your nest is now open, it's really open. What do you want to do with your time? How do you want to not need to know how your kid's doing every day, right? Hear me? So you have some free space. You might want to fill it with something that really moves you.
Yeah. And it's awesome if what Laura said about negotiating it and really having your kid have the right to say you're calling me too much without getting so devastated that if your kid, you could have that relationship with your kid saying, Mom, I love you, how's once every other week, or I'll reach out when I need you kind of thing, would rock, because most of us, feel bad and don't say it and our kids complain about us behind our back as opposed to just being able to say it. And you really want them to be able to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
exactly.
Suck them dry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Should I make my college kids work freshman year of college? I always got better grades when working and don't want them to fall into a pattern of having too much free time. Like have a job.
I understand the concept.
What do you think?
Again, if you're doing it so that they get good grades, you can manage their grades. Like grades are grades, and a job is money. And that you think a job is grades.
Or force.
Or causes that.
Right.
Instead of too much fun. That's very convoluted. If you think your kid should always be working to have money in their pocket, or they want money in their pocket because you're only giving so much money. Again, what's happening in college is it's time for your kid to grow up and be left alone to figure out who they are. And you're still up their bum. Wow, mama. Right? Yeah? Wow. If they're broke, they should work. If they want to get good grades, they should get good grades. If you're unhappy with their grades, I'm not paying for college, or you can't go to college unless you're getting certain grades. Grades are in and of themselves your standard. So if they're paying for college, like I don't know what situation we're in here, but I hear you really still being an overbearing mommy.
Yeah.
Said not that nicely. Okay, so money's money, grades are grades, and if you're really just disguising that you're worried they're gonna party and blow off being good in college, you should have that direct conversation. And just so you know,
Tell it.
they're doing what they want anyway, and they will just lie to you.
Whether they have a job or not.
The whole thing
Yes.
will become a masquerade if they can't be intimate with you. And you have to say all the things you're honestly scared about and want for them, and they have to really deal. Like, you can't control them very well.
Yeah, Howard did his own thing. He really did. I mean, I think at first...
Did you make him get a job?
No, I wasn't even... From my radar, I'm like, your job, especially in the beginning, is to go figure out college, figure yourself out, what's going to take, how to get good grades. Like, I wanted good grades for sure, as so did my kids. But figure it out. Like, your college is about figuring out your time, because you do have a lot of party time, you have a lot of sleep time, you get to pick your classes and what time. It's so broad that they have a really long leash to figure themselves out and strangle themselves or not. Hopefully you did your best and they're going to go out and do what they do anyway. They're definitely going to party and figure all that out. Harrison, I think he just started DJing and really dug that, then got into sound, then just started working. A lot of kids around him were working and making money because they had to, and he felt better about himself if he actually worked too. So he started at a restaurant and then was head of sound, and by the senior year was managing sound design and all that kind of stuff. So he figured himself out. I had nothing to do with his jobs or the money. He just figured out he felt better about himself and liked having his own money. And he partied as much as he wanted. And I knew about all of that, so that was really fun.
And he got
straight A's. And partied and worked, but figured it all out all by his lonesome.
Yeah, and I didn't get money really from my parents, but I never needed money from my parents because I slept my way to get paid for dinner. Right? Like, what does that have to do with my parents? Right? Like, or their decision about how I should be. I got a little bit of money, but I am certain that would never have paid for gas or going places but like I always was covered by whatever boyfriend I was. I have never, like, obviously I turned out everybody, I pay for everything myself now, right? Like, got a job, like, it didn't matter. Just so you know, also, your kids sorting themselves out doesn't say or not say who they're going to be when they get older, right? They're sorting it all out, and it's not this like linear logic that you're practicing on them.
Yeah, I tend to overparent. I do. And Lauren has done a lot of coaching on me to let them be in their own fucking lane. Like, get out of their lane, Marnie. And I so want to. From the day I taught them how to drive and I was grabbing them, did not trust them in their own lane. And I have to. So it's because get out of their lane. None of us wanted our parents in our lane, no matter how great our parents were. Get out of their lane. They don't want you there, right? Just go be great and be honest with them so you get to hear how their lane is.
And if you're overbearing, I promise they lie. They just lie. They lie. I am talking to a couple who are in their 30s, and the daughter has a great parents, loves her parents. Do you understand what loves her parents means to her? It literally means I love my parents. Therefore, I can't tell them the truth. They can't handle the truth because I want to keep my parents happy. So I have to manage what they know and don't know. It comes from the conversations you're having right now where we train our kids to please us to keep us happy. Right? Rather than to know what they're really doing, God forbid your kid said, I was so drunk last night, mommy. Right? Right? Like, is that really helpful? Right? You're going to train them never to say that sentence. And it doesn't, and you're just going to lose your depth of relationship with your kid because you're not interested in who they are and what they're really doing and what they really think. You're interested in trying to control them, and they figured out how to make sure that you feel like you're in control. Lie. My whole method came from overbearing parents. Overbearing government. Overbearing.
It's true. It's true. Sophie called me this weekend to tell me, she was at a concert and there was, crowd rushing and stampeding, and I'm like, we were talking about what shoes she was wearing and what better to wear to climb a fence if you need to get out of a stampede. But
that's a miracle for this one.
Right? I wasn't you should never go to a concert. I was not. I was in learn your lesson, thank God, happy. Don't wear Doc Martens. They're not good for climbing.
Or if she was a freak, Sophie would never call her and tell her a bad story again.
It's true.
Okay.
I like the stories. Lauren's trained me to like the stories and get them, and then to remember my own stories, because magically overbearing parents that are worried about partying forget how much we partied or are reacting to how much we partied. So it took a long time for Lauren to get me out of their lane. She still works on it, and to get me off my high horse and to remember who I was. And I turned out. Yeah. I think we're done. We're getting the wrap up. All right, thank you, everybody. And if you heard Lauren talking about Inner You, go look it up. It's our online coaching course. It rocks.
And we're leading master classes. We're giving away coaching for the price of one of my hours. You get the rest of your life and me every month, right? It's like I finally figured out how to knock myself off and come play. So please get into one of my master classes. It's my favorite. I read your homeworks. I coach in classes. You get buddies. You get a promise tracker. It's pretty much my favorite thing on earth.
Yes, and Lori Gerber is starting in October, another master class. So use the coupon code SistersAreIn to get $75 off of Inner You. Go check it out. It rocks.
Even Marnie's gonna.
I'm gonna leave one for Camp Empowerment. So it's that good. It really is her entire life's work in a program for a very little price.
Yeah.
Say hi to Daisy.
Daisy!
Oh, no, back to school.
My kid's on back to school, and this is like the first time she's ever showed up
for a Facebook Live
ever, and it's for parenting. Is that cute, Daisy, or what?
That is cute. All right, thank you. See you next time.